So at the time of recording this, it's Valentine's Day, my least favourite day of the year. Why is that, you ask? I am lonely, and I also hate love and other people. But for legal reasons, that last comment is a joke. As I'm not particularly keen on a holiday that's glorified and practically invented by greeting card companies as an excuse to spend more money that you don't have, I thought I might as well talk about some movies. Specifically these movies. And I gotta tell ya, I don't really like them. I get it. 80s slasher movies are beautifully outdated, cheap, cheesy, cult classics. Well, not all of them. Some of which I can confirm are also really good, or at least watchable, in a non-ironic sense. The original My Bloody Valentine is just kind of bad. It's got good things about it. The kill scenes, I'm just gonna say, are fucking awesome. I really like the aesthetic of the Miner. He's genuinely quite an intimidating character, and I think with a better script could be utilized expertly. He'd make a great Leatherface type character, a deformed loner who wears a gas mask to hide his identity, killing people for whatever reason. That's gold. This film instead goes for a kind of paranoid schizophrenic type story. You know, where it turns out that the killer isn't actually Harry Warden as originally believed. It's actually someone who witnessed Harry murdering their father after a horrible mining accident that still haunts the town to this day. And after ignoring the warning of not celebrating Valentine's Day every year, people start dying. Of course, there's a stubborn mayor character, some stupid teenagers that take the main role, characters who literally just show up to be meat sacks to be torn open by a giant pickaxe. And I'm just gonna say it, the cinematography really isn't that bad, especially in the cave scenes. It's actually really grim and kind of gross, and I feel like I'm in a coal mine. It's good stuff. But then there's the script, the story, the characters, everything that I just don't like about this movie. It doesn't even feel that cheesy. It feels like it's taking itself way too seriously to be anything above what it kind of is perceived to be. So yeah, not a fan, but I understand the cult following, and props to you if you like this movie. The remake, however, I couldn't say if it's any better or worse. I think out of this weird remake era of horror movies in the early to late 2000s, this is probably one of the slightly better ones, but that still isn't saying much. It's different enough to stand on its own, but it just also isn't very good. It's a lot more goofy, and I can tell they were taking it much less seriously, so I would ultimately say maybe I prefer it slightly, but the 3D technology's ugly, the acting and the characters are awful and wooden, the story and the script are really far-fetched and just ridiculous, but again, it feels a lot more intentional, like it's homaging that cheesy slasherness, so I would say I prefer it slightly, but not completely. They're still pretty much on par with each other. They're both just not very good movies, and they remind me too much of a holiday that I really don't like. That's not the only reason I don't like them. The fact they're set on Valentine's Day definitely doesn't help, but one of my favourite movies ever is set on Valentine's Day. These films focus on it a bit too much though, and at the end of the day, it is just an excuse to say, now we have a horror movie for Valentine's Day, and if that's all it exists for, I'm not angry about it.